Today on the Morning Edition, Cow Team 6. If you haven't heard of them, they're not a military special ops group, but they are a group from Kansas with big hearts and a lot of drive. We'll let you know how they're helping survivors of Halong from thousands of miles away. Plus, the Anchorage Police Department is giving us an updated look at the numbers on the camping ban. We'll take a look at these numbers and local impacts of the ban, whether or not people think it's making a significant difference. And later, Wicked for Good is coming out in theaters soon. And if the first Wicked movie was anything to go by, this one is going to be just as big, if not bigger. We'll bring you a sneak peek of the special airing tonight of Wicked, One Wonderful Night, as the Morning Edition starts now.
I'm feeling great. This is Alaska. We ought to be used to it by now.
It seems like it's about time, so be excited to have some snow here, start to get ready for the winter activities.
With the snow plowing and the promises from Mayor LaFrance, we should have good snow removal because last year we had this much snow.
I think it's always a good idea when it first snows to kind of stay off the road for a little bit so that, you know, there's the people who didn't get their tires changed over end up in the ditch, and so it's best to avoid that.
Yeah, I got them snow tires on. Woohoo! I'm ready for the snow.
Our son, he's a snowboarder, and I'm hoping for a lot of snow just for those people.
No, I'm not hoping for a lot of snow. I don't want it to be unbearable, but this is the snow state. So we look forward to the snow, and I got a birthday coming up, so yeah.
Well, whether you like it or not, it is coming, and Aaron, today is a first alert weather day.
Yeah, we're talking about the first significant snow of the season across South Central, and we're really talking about some of that heaviest activity expected to arrive on the Kenai. Now, it's not going to impact our morning commute. The morning commute will be dry across South Central. We may encounter some of those slick and icy conditions, particularly on those bridges, which tend to freeze first. But as far as this morning, no concerns. It's towards mid-morning and early afternoon where we are going to see that snow beginning to arrive in South Central. 23 degrees is where we're currently sitting at. Winds will also increase as we welcome in the afternoon and evening hours across the region. We'll favor some of those stronger winds out towards Thompson Pass and, of course, those coastal areas. But we are, again, talking about the first significant snow of the season. Be ready for about 1 to 4 inches in Anchorage with some locally heavier amounts. And, of course, right around that 2-inch mark is when the city begins to start plowing those roadways. So we will see some of those snow plows on the roads into the evening hours and overnight, depending on how long this snow really settles into the region. But again, dry to start off this morning. This is what we're watching out towards Prince William Sound, northern parts of the Gulf of Alaska. That will steadily stream in later today and into our evening hours. Now, we do have some winter weather advisories through the Kenai as well as out towards Thompson Pass. Up to 9 inches will be possible as you head through the pass, while the Kenai will see about 4 to 8 inches. Now, through Turnagain Pass out towards Moose Pass, we'll see the potential for about 1 foot to 1.5 foot of that snow accumulation. But as far as the populated areas of the Kenai, we are expected to see several inches of that snow accumulation. So dry for the first part of the morning. Snow begins to kind of arrive towards the mid-morning, early afternoon, and then increase in intensity throughout the day, where we are going to see a decent shot for that snow accumulation. And again, that snow model forecast has been trending upwards the last several runs when it comes to that snowfall total. So looking right around that 2 to 4 inch mark for Anchorage, but there is the potential that we could see some locally heavier amounts. I'll have more on that in that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
And breaking this morning, if you're flying out within the next few days, you'll want to check your flight status. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says he'll cut flight capacity by 10% at 40 major airports beginning tomorrow morning due to the government shutdown. Here's a look at the airports that are affected. Anchorage International and Seattle-Tacoma are on that list. Adelmi Ruiz joins us from the newsroom with those details.
Kristen, flights becoming one more pain point added to the hundreds of thousands of furloughed federal employees and millions of Americans struggling to make ends meet.
We are working with the airlines. They're going to work with passengers. But in the end, our sole role is to make sure that we keep this airspace as safe as possible.
The secretary is citing government shutdown-driven staffing shortages because of traffic controllers and TSA officers working without pay, now calling in sick to work side jobs. The Trump administration warned staffing issues could get worse with air traffic controllers set to miss their second full paychecks next week.
We are starting to see some evidence that fatigue is building in the system in ways that we feel we need to work towards relieving some of that pressure.
Flight reductions would begin at 4% this Friday, then raised to 10% next week. Airlines are now working to comply with the FAA's plan. American Airlines released a statement saying it expects the vast majority of its customers will be unaffected, and the company plans to proactively contact affected travelers to rebook them. In a memo to employees, United Airlines said it plans to give impacted customers as many options as possible and notes that travelers are eligible for refunds during this period. Kristen.
All right, thanks, Adelmi. A Kansas couple is stepping up to help Halong survivors thousands of miles away. Jeremy and Nicole Scheffler found Cow Team 6 after a hurricane, delivering food to people who needed it. Now they're taking on their biggest mission yet, sending relief here to Alaska. Brock Wilson from our sister station in Wichita has more on the nonprofit with a big heart.
Outreach is really what makes our cups feel full.
It gave me that feeling that I'm doing something good and helping our neighbors.
Jeremy and Nicole Scheffler never imagined doing more outreach after providing Kansas beef and other supplies to those affected by Hurricane Helene.
We were kind of quiet about it at first, but then we just made a little post when we got back. When I dropped off that delivery, I just saw something out there that just kind of touched me in my heart a little bit.
That push to help people leading them to disaster relief in Texas earlier this year, and now Alaska.
They are saying that they need meat. They've lost all of their fish, everything that they have saved up for the harsh winter coming up is now gone.
Swept away by Typhoon Halong in October. It's because of that need Jeremy and Nicole have set a lofty goal for this beef donation.
They wanted 4,000 to 6,000 pounds, so we're shooting for 6,000 pounds. We obviously always want to try to exceed our goals.
And it won't be easy. They're looking to raise $50,000 to purchase the beef and transport it. But
God's blessed us with some of the greatest team members, and I think we can move mountains with the people that we have and the positions that we have. So I don't think there's anything that can stop us.
So as they continue to push for donations, Jeremy and Nicole have this message for Alaskans waiting for help.
We are working tirelessly. Day in and day out, we really are.
We are coming. We will do everything in our power to make this happen. Kansans have big hearts. We're going to make it happen, and we will be coming.
Jeremy says their goal is to have everything ready to go in the next 2 weeks. If you'd like to donate, you can find a link on our website. Shelter intake services are underway at the Spinard Recreation Center, giving Halong evacuees a place to stay and access to resources. The center is open daily from 8 to 8. This shift comes after the Egan Center closed its operations as an intake shelter. And the investigative team continues examining the impacts from Halong on West Coast Alaska Native communities, especially a plea from some to move locations. Earlier, we revealed how climate experts say the same areas residents are preparing to return to will face continued similar threats. Now, as Rebecca Palsher reports, they reviewed a federal report showing 115 villages are vulnerable to the same type of damage that Halong left behind.
Walk around, you step into one wrong place, you're knee-deep in something.
This is the wobbly, squishy, quicksand-like tundra of Newtok. We flew here in 2017 to see why the 300 people here at the village had to be relocated 9 miles across the Nicklick River.
We're on the higher ground. It's safer. We don't have to worry about flood and erosion.
But what about the other villages? How much will it cost? How long will it take? And should everyone move or stay in these historical villages rich in culture and traditions? The U.S. government's Accountability Office reports that more than 70 out of about 200 Alaska Native villages face significant environmental threats from erosion, flooding, or thawing permafrost. According to the statewide assessment, combining the three hazards, Shaktoolik is at the top of the list. Here are the top villages impacted mostly by melting permafrost. Flooding alone again shows Shaktoolik leading, followed by Shishmaref and Eagle. Newtok ranked #1 for erosion alone. Newtok's move took decades of planning and $25 million, but that's just one village. The success came at the cost of cultural connections to ancestral lands. In Quingillincok,
we need water and electricity.
Well, it doesn't get more immediate than water. And even when you don't have water, you're kind of screwed.
What should happen, both in the short and long term in these two villages and the dozens of others, is debated.
Concerned about relocating to that area ASAP, like yesterday.
People here, 425 of them, had already voted to move the village 27 miles north. State Senator Lyman Hoffman warned the moving process for Quingillincok could take at least a decade.
I would say that if the will was there, it could take at least 10 years.
An impossible decision that grows more urgent each year, and who knows how much more money later.
Now, Johnson Kuhn's report profiling climate experts on future weather impacts to villages at the center of the moving debate is live right now on our website and mobile app, along with a link to this story. A major drug bust in Ketchikan. Investigators with the CCAD task force say they seized more than 4 pounds of meth worth over $300,000 and arrested a 33-year-old man from Louisiana. Authorities say Adidas Nike Zion Brown picked up a suspicious package that had been flagged by investigators. Agents say they found the drugs and a firearm at his home. Brown is now in the Ketchikan Correctional Center facing multiple felony drug and weapons charges. Meantime, Anchorage Police have released new numbers on how they're enforcing the city's camping ban. Since enforcement began in September, APD reports 18 arrests, 284 people who've complied and moved on, and 20 who've accepted services like housing or treatment. Police say progress is slow but steady, though some downtown business owners say they're still waiting to see real change.
We're hearing what they have to say, and we're actually taking some of their feedback and trying to implement ways that we can adjust our operations process to meet some of those challenges that they have.
If you want to hear more about AAPD's efforts to enforce the ban, just look for this story on our website. And in Fairbanks, school officials are facing a steep drop in student enrollment. This year's October count shows a 5% decrease, which the district links to a declining birth rate that started in 2019. More than 150 students have also left for non-district correspondence programs, and the board is looking at state data to find ways to bring them back.
We are trying to figure out how to attract out-of-district homeschool students, which in the Fairbanks North Star Borough represents 20% of students within our borough. Attend a public school, attend an out-of-district homeschool. We are flying blind. So to the state, if you're listening, we need that data so that we can strategically use those dollars.
The district's October enrollment report is due to the state's Department of Education and Early Development by the end of this week. Well, we all know it's fun, adorable, and gets those views to take a picture of a moose chowing down on a pumpkin, but it's actually not part of their recommended diet, and experts are saying not to leave your pumpkins out. We'll bring you those details right after this.
The first significant snow of the season set to arrive in South Central throughout the day. I'll have more on where we'll see some of that heaviest snowfall totals and what to expect in the days ahead. But first at sunrise, 8:42 in Anchorage, 7:26 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
Welcome back. 17 minutes past the hour on this Thursday morning. And Aaron, we are first alerting to some snow today.
Yeah, it's the first significant snow of the season that's going to build in across South Central. Now, your morning commute will be dry. Don't expect any impacts. It's towards the afternoon and evening hours where we're going to see some of that heaviest snowfall beginning to arrive across South Central. For the Kenai, it'll begin to arrive by mid-morning here in Anchorage as well as into the valley. We'll likely hold off onto that activity until later this afternoon. With the heaviest snow expected in Turnagain Pass. Now, looking at the overall satellite forecast from across the state, you can see our system is out towards the Gulf Coast region. We do have a ridge of high pressure out towards areas of the Bering Sea and western Alaska. This is keeping things fairly quiet with some breezy conditions as well as some sunshine in the forecast. And of course, statewide, we are still holding on to many areas seeing some light snow. Now, as this system continues to build into South Central, we will see some increasing winds. Now, some of our stronger winds will be along the coast for the Kenai through Prince William Sound out towards Thompson Pass, and of course Kodiak, where we are seeing the potential for some of that the ash resuspended from that 1912 Katmai Nova eruption that did happen well over 100 years ago. That's going to resuspend that ash and send it out towards the water surrounding Kodiak Island. So any of those who tend to have lower respiratory issues, you want to take note of that, as those winds will be quite gusty in Kodiak today, where we could see some winds in excess of about 40 to 50 miles per hour. So snow builds in across South Central throughout the day. Again, your morning commute, no impacts. By the afternoon, early evening, you can begin to see that snow spreading across South Central. The further north you live, the lighter your snowfall totals are going to be. So the Kenai is where we're going to see the bulk of this snowfall precipitation. Into the Anchorage Bowl and southern parts of the valley, we'll see a few inches. Then as you head north of Willow out towards Talkeetna, at best, we may see an inch of snow accumulation, but we are going to tap into this activity through the rest of today on into our Friday. Now, overnight into early tomorrow morning, we'll begin to see some drying conditions building in across South Central, but we'll still favor some passing snow showers as we welcome in the day Friday. But the heaviest snow will arrive later today and then carry on into the evening hours. And when it comes to that snowfall accumulation across South Central, we are talking about the potential that we'll see several inches, particularly along the Kenai as well as out towards Turnagain Pass, out towards Moose Pass as well. So that snowfall accumulation forecast, notice by 8 p.m. this evening, heavy snow not expected outside of areas through Turnagain Pass, Moose Pass, along the Seward Highway. But then we are going to see that increased intensity later this evening into the night. We're going to see about 4 to 8 inches along the Kenai with some locally heavier amounts through Moose Pass, Turnagain Pass. This is where we'll see 1 to 1.5 feet of snowfall accumulation. And then from southern parts of the valley into the Anchorage Bowl, we are watching that potential that we could see about 1 to 4+ inches of that snow accumulation out towards Whittier, Portage. We're expecting more in the way of a rain snow mix that will stick around. So coastal areas, be prepared for that. So we are going to see that increasing snow sticking around throughout today. So this is a first alert weather day. Temperatures may not even break freezing in many areas. Chance snow stays with us into Friday, and then a lot drier conditions, Kristen, into the weekend.
All right, thanks for that update, Aaron. Wildlife experts are urging Alaskans to think twice before leaving out old pumpkins. Biologists say pumpkins are dangerous for moose to eat, and those leftover jack-o'-lanterns can draw the animals into neighborhoods, creating safety risks. Experts say moose are designed to eat woody plants, not rich vegetables like pumpkins, which can cause severe digestive issues or even death.
Just in general, especially given the time of year, like I said, their gut isn't set up to take that highly nutritious, easily digestible food source, and it messes with their gut microbes and can cause those GI issues.
Another concern with moose eating pumpkins off your porch, it's dark and you could easily stumble upon one, leading to a dangerous encounter. If you see a moose acting odd or aggressive, report it to the Department of Fish and Game or use their wildlife encounter form online.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.